afternoon. It's Thursday, October 19, 2023. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, slight rise reported in Orashi River as flooding destroys farmlands in Emohua, River State. River State here to implement contributory pension scheme. River State Police begins investigation into sexual abuse of another teenage girl. Senate President dismisses crisis in Senate. On the foreign scene, UK Prime Minister meets Israeli leaders in Tel Aviv, condemns Gaza hospital attack. I am King Ife Moili with the news. A community leader in Akinima, Ahoda West local government area, Inyata Abieba, says there is a slight increase in the water level of the Orashi River. Mr. Abieba told our correspondent that the slight rise may be due to recent rainfall in the area. The community leader, however, added that there is still no flooding in any of the communities.
For Orashi, for now, there's no threat of flood. But there is report now that yesterday and today said there is a bit rise along Orashi River. But it has not threatened any settlement. And the rise is very, very minimal. And people who are attributing to the heavy downpour that occurred for the past 2 days, there was heavy downpour. You know, NEMA is saying that Cameroon has opened its Lagdo Dam. Flood have not entered any home.
Yesterday, the chairman of Emohua local government area of River State, Chidi Lloyd, says some farmlands in Rumebe and Ndele communities have been affected by flooding. In an interview with correspondent Emeka Otoka, Dr. Lloyd urged Emohua residents, especially those around the riverbank, to be on the alert and report promptly to the flood committee for quick response.
Gradually, some farmlands in Rumebe have been affected. People have lost their crops. Some in Abandele too have been affected, but we are monitoring the situation. Once it becomes something of concern, we will raise alarm. But we have also made our reports as to the state of affairs now to the State Flood Committee. Continue to urge the people of Emohua, especially those who live by the riverbank, of the people of Abandele, Elela, Limini, Rumekbe, to be alert and alive to their environment.
Dr. Lloyd also said that the council has adopted measures to mitigate the effect of flash floods on its people.
We pray it never comes, but if it does come, we are ready. But the local government, every machinery is in place to ensure we are not caught unawares. So we are ready. We have a massive infrastructure at the council headquarters. We also have identified IDP camps in Rubebe, in Elela, Limini, in Abandel, because we do not want to rest on our oars.
Moving on, the chairman of River State Joint Public Negotiating Council of Nigeria Labour Congress, Emechi Tachuku, says the government is complying with the agreement reached with organized labor over the payment of pensioners in the state. Mr. Chukwu made this known shortly after a meeting between the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council of NLC and a body known as Concerned River State Pensioners at the River State Secretariat, Port Harcourt. He said the government promises to promote civil servants and renovate the state secretariat are ongoing.
We discovered very clearly that River State government is injecting over 1 billion naira monthly for pension and pension arrears due retirees in the state. But their issue is that more money should be injected into the system to enable spread. So people who retired, who ordinarily are supposed to go for biometrics, up to now have not done biometrics. So we want to use the same forum to plead that every other person who is supposed to go for biometrics should go to do biometrics as at when due.
On the spot, the coordinator of Concerned Pensioners, Isaac Orang, spoke to newsmen about some of the concerns of pensioners in the state. He, however, said the state government has lived up to its promise by paying pensions and gratuities at the end of every month.
Our deliberations, we have discovered that River State government, under our excellency, is making payments of gratuity the way he promised. And the monthly pension is being paid. So the only issue we have is that a lot of people who are captured have not been taken care of because the allocation is inadequate. So we are still pleading with the governor to increase their allocation so that a lot of people will be paid.
Correspondent Soebi Oroara reports that the Director General of the River State Pension Board, Ijoma Samuel, urged the concerned pensioners to always seek clearance from his office or the office of the Director of Pensions in case of any challenges. The National Pension Commission has revealed that only 6 states and the Federal Capital Territory have fully implemented the contributory pension scheme as of the end of June, and River State is not one of them. PENCOM's second quarter report of 2023 said Rivers, Ogun, and Niger State extended their transition period to the contributory pension scheme. As you may know, under the contributory pension scheme, the employer contributes 10% and the employee contributes 8% of the monthly salary, totaling 18%, which is paid into the retirement savings account of the worker with a pension fund administrator. In March 2019, the then River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, signed into law the River State Pension Reform Law No. 4 of 2019 that was passed into law by the 8th State Assembly. At the time, Governor Wike said the River State Pension Reform Law would help in resolving the challenges generated by the contributory pension scheme. Details of the amended pension reform law were not made public. And now in March 2023, the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, provided an update on the amendment of the River State Pension Reform Law 2019 in its fourth quarter 2022 report. PENCOM claimed that the River State government informed it in October 2022 of the amendment to the River State Pension Reform Law 2009 that would further extend the transition period by another 3 years from June 2022 to July 2025. It said the current amendment implies that all active employees of River State who made contributions under the contributory pension scheme and those due to retire under the scheme up to June 30th, 2025 have been transited back to the Defined Benefit Scheme, DBS. The DBS is funded by the government to provide monthly stipends for workers in retirement. Away from that, a POS operator, Angel Olo, who was shot by gunmen around GRA access of Port Harcourt, is calling for financial support for his medical treatment. Mr. Olo tells correspondent Emeka Otoka that he owns a POS service center behind Mopole 19 in Rumokalabo and was attacked on his way back from the bank on Monday. He said the gunmen also collected 450,000 naira from him. He said his family cannot afford his medical treatment and is urging good-spirited individuals to come to his aid.
On Monday, I went to bank to withdraw for the POS business. On my way back, I was attacked by some boys. They collected the money, all the money I was having, and they shot me on my chest. And right now, I'm at a hospital. It's where I'm receiving the treatment. I'm calling for assistance, for government assistance and individual. My brother has spent a lot, so I'm calling on individuals. Right now, our bill is running over 200,000 now. So I'm calling on individuals to assist my brother.
Also speaking, his brother Emmanuel Wam said the incident has been reported to the Elekahia police station. He, however, called for justice over the incident.
At the Elekahia police station, we are demanding for justice. The people they should brought to book.
Our correspondent reports that Angel Olo is currently at the hospital and is responding to treatment. Police say they are investigating a 42-year-old man identified as Kolawole accused of sexually abusing a 13-year-old girl on Ejeku Street in Eka River State. The man was arrested by the Human Rights Desk of the State Police Command following a complaint by concerned neighbors. It was gathered that the teenage girl, who is a maid to the suspect, ran to neighbors for help after she was defiled. Now, still to come, Senate President dismisses crisis in Senate. Please stay with us.
Happy birthday. I, Honorable Rolo Sama Peter
Back and now the rest of the news. President Bola Tinubu has approved the staggered takeoff of 6 out of 14 public universities established towards the end of the Muhammadu Buhari administration. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, who said this yesterday, added that the choice of the university's 2 colleges of agriculture, education and medicine each was strategic to the skills empowerment goals of the government. Recall that the Buhari administration approved the establishment of about 75 universities within 7 years. Senate President Godswill Akpabio says there is unity and maturity within the Senate, even amidst disagreement. Senator Akpabio said this after a closed-door meeting with President Bola Tinubu. Akpabio's visit comes barely 24 hours after Senator Ali Indume stormed out of the chamber following a disagreement. Now, China has committed 85% of funds to refinance the completion of the Abuja-Kano and Port Harcourt-Maiduguri railway project. In a statement by Stanley Water, spokesperson to Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Chinese President Xi Jinping made this pledge while responding to a request by Vice President Shettima at the ongoing Belt and Road Initiative Forum in Beijing. In business, some internet subscribers in Port Harcourt say they don't get their money's worth as their data finishes before the expected time. Those who spoke to our correspondent Constance Mega say they are unhappy that they spend more money subscribing to a data plan these days.
3 gig and they say it's monthly, but trust me, it doesn't last for a month. I only browse. I don't even go on YouTube. I don't even watch movies. Boom, the data is finished. And you know when there is no data in the phone is like it's useless.
And the data no dey last too.
I usually do 1.5 every week, 5 gig, and then it doesn't last as it usually does. Normally, if I do it on a Sunday, I can manage it till Sunday or maybe Saturday. But this one I'm doing now, I think between 4 or 5 days, sometimes 3 days, it's just over, and that's like 6,000 every month. I do everything: WhatsApp, calls, Facebook, Instagram.
The monthly finishes within weeks. Even when I've tried to consciously watch what I do, it doesn't last.
Another internet subscriber believes his judicious use of the internet helps him conserve his data.
I subscribed. Initially it was 6 gig, 1,005, but now it's 5 gig. It lasts for a week. This past one, that was a rollover. I'm on Instagram, but I barely do Instagram. I don't watch Facebook videos. I barely go on Facebook. Basically what I do is research and X.
Speaking on this, a tech personnel, Enesha explained that the fast-speed internet does not allow people to know how much data they consume.
Of the internet that we use these days, 4G, 5G. Back then, when it seemed like our data lasted, we were using slower network. Before you finish watching a 10-minute video to buffer multiple times, you end up spending like 30 minutes or 20 minutes watching a 10-minute video because of the pauses and the breaks in between. But when you have a high-speed network, you end up spending less time. So if you spend 30 minutes or 1 hour on your phone, you end up consuming 1 hour worth of data. And if you convert it, a lot of us like watching high resolution videos. Nobody likes watching low quality. The implication of that is your data will be flying away. Before you get a notification and you say, oh, they're scamming me.
In entertainment, release of the deluxe version of his critically acclaimed debut album, Boy Alone, and the success of his single, So So. In sports, Liverpool and Egypt forward Mohamed Salah has called on world leaders to come together to prevent further slaughter of innocent souls amid the ongoing Israel-Gaza conflict.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has held talks with Israeli leaders in Tel Aviv and is expected to visit other countries in the region. Prime Minister Sunak condemned the horrific act of terrorism by Hamas on 7 October and said the UK stands with Israel.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
And that's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Slight rise has been reported in Orashi River as flooding destroys farmlands in Emoha, River State. River State is one of the states yet to implement the contributory pension scheme. River State Police has begun investigation into the sexual abuse of another teenage girl. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio has dismissed report of any crisis in Senate. On the foreign scene, UK Prime Minister has met with Israeli leaders in Tel Aviv, condemns Gaza hospital attack. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. You can see pictures and watch videos of news stories when you like us on Facebook and follow us on X at Nigeria Info PH. On Instagram, it's Nigeria Info FM_PH. For any eyewitness report and breaking news, text and send your WhatsApp pictures and videos to our news desk line on 0808 721 7215. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am King Ife Moyeli. Many thanks for listening.